The family of a 12-year-old boy involved in the alleged gang rape of a 12-year-old girl is pulling the race card. What?
We're talking about, we're going to leave him in jail and put a life charge on a young man, a young black man.
I'm sorry, guys. We need to shut the fuck up about being black. Straight up. Like, okay, bro, this is not like the fucking 1800s anymore, man. This is not 1865 anymore. You are not fresh off the fucking boat. You can't blame every issue on, man, it's just because I'm black, right? Man, shut up.
I was visiting Miami. It was with the wrong two kids.
Right. So that young black man that we're talking about is a 12-year-old boy who allegedly put rocks in the mouth of a 12-year-old girl as she was being sexually abused by two other boys that he was with. But yeah, let's pull the race card on this one. Let's talk about it.
Yeah, you better.
These are not people. These are monsters. Immediate execute. Very easy. Yep. Next.
Yeah, you better.
That's fucking crazy.
Guys, before we get into today's video, please like and subscribe. Now, today we're going to be talking about the story of a 12-year-old girl, as we should be focusing on the victim in this story, who allegedly was sexually abused when she encountered three boys at a local community center, I believe the story states. A 12-year-old boy by the name of Josiah Jones, who we're going to be focusing on later on, another 13-year-old boy, and a 14-year-old boy, who took her to a secondary location, restrained her, put rocks in her mouth, and then allowed one of these kids to sexually abuse her for up to 30 minutes.
What the fuck? What the? Oh, so this is like real shit. This is like real rape. Not this shit that like happens on social media where like a guy and a girl have sex and then 8 years later they say, well, actually, I think the guy's mean now, so I regret it. No. Like this is like real shit. What the fuck? Bro, this is horrible. How the fuck are you this fucked up at 12?
Rape only stopped when this young girl's father ended up calling her name. Now, all three of these boys are going to be charged as adults in the state of Florida for what they did to this young girl, which is stirring up.
Hey, put them in alligator Alcatraz. That easy.
A bit of controversy in the news and creating a discussion. Now, the father of one of the boys, his name is Mervyn Jones, has come forward to say that this is a young black man who we're charging here, and we should really think about, I guess, the racial dynamics of the story here.
And the worst thing is that like pulling the, oh my God, judge, he's black. Oh my God, social media, this is happening to a black man. The reason why it's so frustrating is because it actually works. People fall for that shit. And they'll say, hey, they're only punishing this 12-year-old rapist because he's black. It's like, dude, I can't believe there are people who are this convinced to be victims their whole fucking lives that they will actually fall for rhetoric like this. You have to be so weak-minded, it's insane.
This is a 12-year-old boy we're talking about. We're going to leave him in jail.
Yes.
And put a life charge on a young man.
Yes.
A young black man.
Yes.
That was visiting Miami. It was with the wrong two kids.
Why would you
Now,
not?
he goes on to point out the age of the kids. I believe those kids are now 14 and 15 years old as they're going through these court proceedings. And he says not only did his 12-year-old son at the time get mixed up with the wrong group of kids, but also that the allegations are bogus. So are the allegations bogus, or did your 12-year-old get mixed up with the wrong set of kids? And of course, he's making an emotional plea to those who are listening that he was just a young black man who is visiting Miami, as if the race of this individual has anything to do with the crime that he committed against a 12-year-old girl who also happens to be a black victim in this case. I think she deserves justice. And if the justice system has decided to try these three as adults, then so be it, given the...
And this wasn't just like rape. This was like super, like these are not humans. These are fucking monsters. Putting rocks in their mouth. This is fucking terrible.
Nature and the heinousness of...
Rocks in mouth? Yeah, the dude put rocks in the girl's mouth so she couldn't scream.
The crime that they've committed here. As I said before, this 12-year-old allegedly put rocks in the mouth of this young girl to keep her quiet as she was being raped for 30 minutes in this crime. Now, the 12-year-old that we're talking about, Josiah Jones, is being charged as an adult with aggravated battery and false imprisonment for assaulting this girl and restraining her as the assault continued.
I don't know how people like this, and kudos to this woman, keep a clear head while talking about this insane behavior. There's no other word to call these. They're not humans at this point. They're monsters. To have been conditioned to do things like, and I'm not going to lie, this reflects very poorly on the parents, right? The sins of a father should never weigh on the children. But like, if your children are that fucked up, hey, I'm sorry, that has to be a product of parenthood.
At the hands of another boy, and I personally don't see anything wrong with that, again, given the nature of this crime. These are felonies that, if convicted, will follow him for life, and they have, I believe, pleaded not guilty at this point. This means he could face prison time. Of course, he will not be able to vote. He will not be able to own a firearm in the future. And again, given the nature of what you've done, I don't know what else you expect here. And we're getting mixed messaging from other family members who are now getting themselves involved in this case. The mother of Josiah Jones, while these court proceedings were going on and while people were being interviewed, was heard screaming, crying, quote, "It's not true. He's only 12. So again, we're hearing the allegations are bogus, but he got mixed up with the wrong group of people. What he did didn't happen, but also he's 12 years old. You guys let me know what you think in regard to this case. Now, this next video is going to, I think, blow a lot of your minds. This is a video.
You know, the worst thing is, with the way society's going, these kids fucked up by doing this to a black chick. Because if they did it to a white chick, they could probably do it a social media post and get a GoFundMe to raise $500,000. Oh, and if you don't believe me that if this chick was white, they would garner a mass amount of sympathy, I want to remind you of the black kid who stabbed brutally to death the white kid at high school and then got awarded with $500,000. Yeah. This shit is crazy. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony. Yep, that's a real thing. A black kid stabbed to death a white kid, and then the lawyer and the father said, "Man, they only doing this shit to us because we black. They trying to hold us down because we black." They do a GoFundMe and they raised over $500,000. And you want to know why the black kid stabbed the white kid to death? Because the black kid was in the wrong tent for a track and field meetup, and the white kid said he needed to go back to his tent. And so he stabbed him to death. And then his brother held his now stabbed to death brother in his arms while he bled out. And Carmelo Anthony got $500,000 for that. Yep. Imagine that. It's crazy.
Video allegedly made by one of the aunts of the kids who was also being charged for this crime. Now, which one? I don't know. It's not stated here, unfortunately. Let me show you what she has to say.
Spanish Honduran, he don't give a he's savage. So he like, you been talking about you wanted to do this to me. You finna, do me like this.
He didn't do nothing. He didn't do nothing. Jesus Christ.
So I guess he got aggressive with her, and she was like, "Oh no, I'm not finna do that. I'm not finna sleep with all of y'all. I'm only sleeping with him." So I guess whatever happened, while they was running the train on her, the lady who stayed upstairs must have on her way down to check her mail, or you get what I'm saying, drop her garbage or whatever. She seen them, because how the building is made, where the lady who seen the kids is like right there, and the farm is right there. So you can look over her balcony and see everything was going on in the farm. So I guess she spotted them.
Oh my God.
So in the mix of her spotted them, she like, "What y'all doing in there?" So that's when she want to yell, "Y'all stop, y'all stop, y'all stop." But she went home. She never told her mama anything. Going on 2 days.
So let's go ahead and pause here. If you're not following the ebonics that you're listening to in...
Can I say that, or is it racist if I say that? Can you say, I don't know, can a white man say that? I'm 22% black. Can I say that?
This video,
I'm glad she said it. I was thinking it. I ain't even gonna lie.
she's essentially stating that the 12-year-old girl was interested in at least, I guess, one of the boys, but did not want to sleep with the rest of the boys. So then the boys proceeded to run a train on her. For those of you who do not understand what that means, that's when they're all getting involved sexually, one after the other, which in this situation with somebody who isn't consenting would qualify as gang rape.
Yep.
Although the charges are not reflecting that. So we're getting conflicting stories here. She goes on to say that the young girl didn't tell her mother what happened. And that must explain, you know, a large part of this situation being untrue, because why wouldn't you go and tell somebody if you were sexually assaulted, as if that doesn't happen all the time? Let's continue watching.
A lot of people who get raped or sexually assaulted have a very hard time coming out about their story. I had a very hard time myself with this. Now, this is very different than people who had consensual sex and then one of their friends from college convinced them that they were raped or sexually assaulted. Very different. But when you go through a traumatic experience like this, it's very hard to talk about. Yeah, it is, because you feel disgusting. You know? Yeah, this is awful.
He never told
Fucking terrible.
her mama anything. When the lady came to find out who daughter it was, she went and told the stepdaddy. So
We need to make it easier for victims to come forward. Well, the problem is there's so many fucking liars in today's day and age. They're making it harder.
when the lady told the stepdaddy, that's when the little girl went to tell her mama. They dragged her from the park, they took her there, and they raped her. I ain't justifying nothing. Let me tell you something. I ain't finna sit here and read y'all comment. I got on here to check her. If you go,
I'm not justifying anything. I got on here to check her, as in to set the story straight on the young 12-year-old girl who is accusing these boys of rape. Now, let me set the record straight for this lady. If a girl does not want to have sexual intercourse with the parties involved, and the parties involved continue to restrain that girl, put rocks in her mouth, and have sexual intercourse with her, she has been raped. Now, as she states here in her very own video, she says the girl did not want to be involved in what went down, and the boys proceeded to run a train on her.
Man, this is almost more self-incriminating than a Mizkif stream.
That's called rape. And, you know, many communities, all communities have issues with sexual assault and sexual abuse, particularly as it pertains to children. We've spoken about that at length on this channel. There is an overwhelming issue within the Black community with this problem. And another issue that coincides with the sexual abuse and assault that happens in all communities, but also in the Black community, is the justification of the sexual assault and sexual abuse. And when you're dealing with somebody like this, just so ghetto, okay? Their justification for the abuse will just blow your mind. And when I tell you this happens,
This is real trap shit. Certified hood classic. I didn't do nothing. Okay.
all the time, it happens all the time. This sort of allowance of this behavior. And when you mix this video with the rebuttal from the father that this is a young Black man who was just visiting Miami and got mixed up with the wrong group of people, but also the allegations are bogus, you have the perfect cocktail to create a child like this who goes to commit crimes of this nature. Not to mention the father himself, it seems, has a lengthy rap sheet himself with
Man, I bet he got all those just because he was Black, right? Yep. Oh, yeah, nah. I bet it's just because he Black. Yeah, well. To the surprise of fucking nobody. Jesus. Who would have thought? Everybody with an IQ above 67.
different crimes that he's committed, at least in his past. This creates the outcome that we're now experiencing right now. And I don't know what else you're meant to do in a situation like this, other than start to give very heavy penalties for crimes such as this to try and stop them from happening. Okay. And if that involves this 12, probably now 13-year-old, another 14-year-old and a 15-year-old being tried as adults for what they did, this horrible thing that they did to this young girl, so be it. Do we need to watch more of this video? Let's just watch a little bit more in case, just to see if she turns a new leaf or turns a corner in her justification of the assault of this young girl.
Don't tell the story. Tell the story the right way. Don't get on here trying to make it seem like my nephew on a run or for none of that. Because if he get direct file too, he already got a lawyer. But
do we think that this type of like, this voice they do we think it's real? Or do we think it's like the gay person voice? Like, oh my God, yes, slay girl. Like I'm positive behind like closed doors, like these fucking gay dudes just like, they're like, oh my God, thank God. Okay, now I can finally stop talking like this. Like, it's got to be put on for show, right? Like, there's no way people actually do this, right? There's no way. It's not real. There's no way. There's no way. It's real. The gay voice is also real. No, it's not. No, it's not, and you'll never convince me it is.
I know at the end of the day, your daughter ain't telling the truth. Your daughter only pressing charges because you forcing her to press charges. Your daughter...
Have you ever met someone intelligent that talks like this? Like, genuine question. Like, have you ever like, oh, that was a very insightful conversation. Well, that was a great point that you made, LaQuisha. Fuck no. Like, they always be going on about some crazy shit. You know? Like, always. I've never heard somebody talk like, wow, that was a very great conversation. Ever. Ever. It's nuts. Like, it's like a self-report, bro.
Was never a virgin before she got touched.
Jesus. Jesus.
All these videos get to me, not only for the instance that they're covering, but the fact that you can just watch this and know that it's happening all the time. All the time, especially in a culture like this that perpetuates it even further and goes on to blame the victims for what they've experienced, to say things like she was not a virgin before she was touched.
Insane.
Oh, and I know so many of you are going to hop in the comments and share stories that are very similar to this experience. And I don't want to make this just a simply a black thing. This happens with all races in all communities. I stated that earlier, but there is just a particular cultural element to this video and this story that I know is going to resonate with a lot of people because it's been their experience and it's been the response that they've gotten from family members trying to come forward about their assault and sexual abuse. I guess we'll see. You know, there is a world where these are just 3 black men who are being completely abused by the criminal justice system, and these are false allegations.
Yeah, there's a world, but it ain't this world.
That are just completely
there's a world where I have hair. It ain't this one.
Made up to go after, 3 young black boys who are future doctors. But there's also a scenario where these things that are being alleged are absolutely true, or absolutely what happened. And guess what? People need to be held accountable. And at this point, with the video I'm seeing and the response I'm seeing from some of the family members who are connected to these young boys, when some of y'all say we have to start going after the family members for how these kids turn out, I'm starting to feel that. And I don't know how you do it. We see it happen with kids who...
That's why I say being a good parent is the most important job in America right now, because there are so many shitty parents. It's insane. Like, there are so many shitty parents. It's fucking nuts.
End up being school shooters, where we start looking at the parents and go, how did they get access to a firearm? How many red flags were there that your kid was going to end up like this that you ignored? How long have they been on an FBI watch list? How many times have you been told to watch out for your...
I believe that if you start hitting a certain amount on your criminal record, you should not be allowed to procreate. I really hate to be that guy, but if you have more than 5 criminal charges, hey, you lose the right to have babies, because we know what type of kids you're going to raise. We already know. Repeat offenders should not be allowed to procreate.
Kid, and you missed that, because when I'm looking at...
They're lucky enough they get to live. They should not be allowed to bring another life into this world. They absolutely should not.
These parents and looking at this aunt, I'm starting to connect the dots as to how these kids turned out the way they did. And some may say it sucks to see a 12-year-old, a 13-year-old, a 15-year-old, whatever age these kids are right now.
Like, this is how more black kids are going to end up when they get raised from birth, because their parents are fucking failures, being told that, oh, America hates black people. America be holding down to blacks. Oh, man, Donald Trump is evil. Everybody hates you. We live in a racist world. White men are evil. White people are evil, right? Like, when you tell a kid from birth that he must be a victim and that the world is against him, he's never going to try to overcome that. He's never going to try. He's just going to give up, and he's going to accept the reality of which he was told, and he's going to fit into that reality of being a victim and do horrendous shit. We got to stop this shit. Hey, man, I would be down for an IQ test to be passed to allow people to have a birthing license. Because some of these dumb motherfuckers, bro, like, well, oh, man, Like, I don't really think 7-Eleven is dying for too many new employees. This shit is wild, bro. This shit, you should have at least a IQ of 70 to have a kid and to vote. Good Lord. Breeding voting license. Just fucking make it a thing. Holy crap.
Bearing the brunt of the way that they were raised because of the crime that they ended up committing on the other end of that. And there's room for that conversation, but we're also in the reality of a 12-year-old girl who was raped at the hands of these three individuals in an extremely disgusting way.
Yep.
So
once again, that's not rape, that's super rape.
there you have it. This is not something that pulling the black card is going to work for you on. I don't think you get to say this is a black man who's being, discriminated against by the system for this particular story, but you're gonna watch them try.
Yep.
Guys, give me.
And the worst thing is, like, black motherfuckers like this make it so much harder for good, upstanding black citizens, which, by the way, there's a lot of. There are. I love black people. But man, black motherfuckers who bitch and cry and act like they're victims all fucking day because of what happened 150 years ago, get the fuck over it. Jesus. This is what happens when you live your entire life crying that you're a victim over some shit that you didn't go through from people who didn't do shit. Just shut the fuck up. Hope the little girl gets the justice she deserves.